Public Access 8 is proud to present the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year ceremony.
Standing with Janice McCann, who is the city editor for the Tri-State Gazette, and who is going to be the mistress, should we say mistress of ceremonies for this evening's festivities to honor Dr. Craig Brown as Citizen of the Year. Janice, if I could, for our viewers, could you explain a little bit as to what goes into the selection process for deciding upon the candidate to be chosen as Citizen of the Year?
Sure. For about 6 weeks before we make the selection, we run an ad in the Tri-State Gazette soliciting applications from the community about who they think deserves the honor. We got probably 15 nominations this year, and then an editorial board sits down and reviews them and makes the selection.
Was it a difficult choice this year?
It was difficult. It is every year, because there were many people named who have been deserving of the honor for many years, and of course only one person can win every year.
Who are some of the people that have been invited to the occasion this evening?
Well, some previous winners are coming. Betty Jane Polanis, who was our winner last year, Dr. Frank Simpson, Jean King, Irene Hoppy, Sister Mary Jean Ferrier.
That's quite a list.
Yeah,
that's
there
quite
were
a list.
2 more that I can't think of that were here as well.
Do you know if this is going to be a surprise to him, or do you know if the word's leaked out that he's been selected?
I think he'll be very surprised. I think everyone was careful, and Craig is a very humble person, and I'm sure it would never enter his mind that this was going to happen to him tonight.
Well, we're going to try to capture on camera this evening the moment when Dr. Brown walks in, and I think we can probably all expect his normal deadpan attitude when he does walk in.
Absolutely. I think he will have no reaction on his face at all.
Are you at all nervous about this evening's festivities?
A little bit. Not really, no. This is my 3rd year doing this, and as long as I have everything written in front of me that I'm going to say, I'm fine.
Well, on behalf of Access 8 Television, we'd like to thank the Tri-State Gazette for all the work that you folks do in selecting a candidate and for putting on an affair like this to honor the candidate that is selected. We think you're doing a great job, and it's become a very, very viable and interesting part of our community. And we're glad that you folks are fostering it and continuing on with it.
We're delighted that you guys are here tonight, because there's so many people out there that we wanted to invite that we couldn't, and now they'll be able to see it on Access 8, and we're so thrilled about that.
Boy, thank you, Janice McCann.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening, and good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The staff and management of the Tri-State Gazette is pleased to welcome you to this reception being given to honor our choice for the Citizen of the Year for 1986. This is the 20th annual award of its kind. I'm sure you all know by now that Dr. Craig Brown of Port Jervis is this year's winner. We are particularly pleased to give Dr. Brown this honor because he has been a resident of the area for only 4 years and has accomplished much in such a short time. It encourages us to know that one need not be a lifelong member of a community to want to improve the quality of life in the place they live. Dr. Brown, in the short span of time he's been among us, has given his time and talents to many organizations in a volunteer capacity, weaving a pattern of improvements into the fabric of our community life, which enrich us all. Dr. Brown is a volunteer fireman who acts as company physician for Fowler Rescue and Salvage Company No. 3 and serves with the Port Jervis Diving Squad. He teaches a class in first aid to the Matamoros Ambulance Squad, and last year acted as coordinator for the Orange County Disaster Unit. He's also a member of the Port Jervis Planning Board and sits on the advisory board of the Port Pike chapter of the American Red Cross. When do you have time to go home? Just to tell you a little bit about Craig's background, he was born in Philadelphia, the son of John and Dorothy Brown, who are with us tonight. Mr. and Mrs. Brown, would you stand up, please? He grew up in Haddonfield, New Jersey, where he was a semi-serious football player in high school, but a serious amateur actor, appearing in his first play at age 12 in his town's little theater group production of Time Out for Ginger. After high school, he entered a pre-law program at Dickinson College, but soon found out he would have preferred to be a drama major. He appeared in several more plays, but left Dickinson after 2 years to work as an orderly in the emergency room at Cooper Hospital in Camden, New Jersey. It was here Craig first decided to pursue a career in medicine. He enrolled at Murray State College in Kentucky and milked cows, grew tobacco, and pitched hay for 2.5 years to help pay his way, managing to acquire a brown belt in judo somewhere along the way. Then he washed dishes in a restaurant while he applied to medical school. He was accepted by the New Jersey College of Medicine, where he worked nights and summers as a lab technician to earn his tuition and living expenses. In 1970, he graduated first in his class in surgery and accepted a residency in general surgery at Boston University. He worked for a while with a team of thoracic, I'm not sure how to say that, thoracic? Surgeons before coming to Port Jervis in 1981 to work at the emergency room of Mercy Community Hospital. He took over Dr. Harry Fowler's private practice in 1984. Craig is married to Janice E. Brown, who is a nurse and our councilwoman, newly elected councilwoman from Port Jervis's 4th Ward. Janice, could you stand up, please? They have 4 children who are with us tonight. Abigail, Megan, Seth, and Samara. That was your life, Dr. Brown.
It seems longer when
We have several guests with us this evening representing some of the companies Dr. Brown is affiliated with professionally, and I'd like to introduce those people at this time. Mr. Mark Setzer and his wife Sharon from C&D Power Systems. Where are you, Mark and Sharon? And from Colmar Laboratories, Jane Cherry, who is the Director of Human Resources, and Cynthia Hendershot, who is staff nurse. Our first speaker for the evening, representing Congressman Ben Gilman, who could not be with us tonight, is Fred Harding, Chairman of the Port Jervis Republican Party.
Thank you very much, Janice, Lee, and members and management of the Tri-States Gazette for this opportunity to be here this evening, and of course to Dr. Brown and his family. As Janice indicated, Congressman Gilman is in Washington and unable to be here this evening and asked me if I would please come in and read this letter. I deeply regret that my congressional duties prevent me from being present on this happy occasion as you honor Dr. Craig Brown as a Citizen of the Year for 1986. Your selection of Dr. Brown not only honors a deserving recipient, but also honors those who are calling attention to the outstanding services of this relative newcomer to the Fort Jervis area. As a volunteer teacher of first aid with the Ambulance Corps, an active participant in the volunteer fire department, a part of the rescue mission of the diving squad, a member of the advisory council of the Port Pike Red Cross, a member of the Port Jervis Planning Board, and as Orange County coordinator of the emergency drill, Dr. Craig Brown has exemplified the best of volunteerism and community spirit. The fact that Dr. Brown is a relative newcomer to the Delaware Valley only further underscores his sense of community service. We hope that this award will be accepted as a token of the community's gratitude for Dr. Brown's services in trying to make Fort Jervis a better community for all of us. I, being Congressman Gilman, join in congratulating Dr. Craig Brown for giving of his time, his hands, and his heart. And I commend the Tri-States Gazette for recognizing his outstanding accomplishments. With best wishes, Congressman Benjamin A. Gilman, Member of Congress. And Dr. Brown, as I look here, I notice that myself and many other members of the people in attendance are Rotarians, and we don't use titles. And one of the reasons we don't use titles is because we believe that you can command obedience, but you must earn respect. And I would say tonight, on behalf of Congressman Gilman and myself, that Craig Brown, you have earned our respect and admiration. Congratulations from the Congressman and myself.
Thank you, Fred. Now, Joe Pagano, our representative to the Orange County Legislature, would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Janice. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Volunteerism in the last decade has declined immensely, but not in the city of Port Jervis. And Port Jervis is considered a small city, but we have a tremendous amount of giants in volunteerism. And tonight we're honoring a new giant in Dr. Craig Brown winning this award. Dr. Brown, you and your family should be proud. I congratulate you for all you've done. With your busy schedule, you're still in there working and fighting for volunteerism. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. Now, Port Jervis Mayor E. Arthur Gray has a few brief comments to make.
She's so subtle. It was just a short time ago, it seems to me, that Helen and I, and Janice and Craig, and another doctor and his wife happened to be sitting at the same table. I think it was a function for the hospital, and we met for the first time. They said, well, why couldn't we, so forth. I said, well, why don't you? Why can't you? Why don't you? Little did I realize the type of people I was talking to, and from that, Craig has become what is today the Citizen of the Year. He has given of himself, and what is the saying? No greater gift than a man give of his life for another. I think there's another saying similar to that, no greater gift than a man give his wife for others. He's even let Janice out, and I myself have gotten something out of this tonight, because as Samara came in, believe it was Samara, said, gee, even the mayor's here. and that is a compliment. Oh, but Dr. Brown is our official fire department doctor, something that we haven't had, and it's a wonderful thing for me to realize that he's out there. And the rescue squad is particularly close to my heart because for most of the years of my life, I was involved with the ambulance service that we had in our family, and I was always frustrated for not having good medical care, oftentimes when it was most needed, right on the spot as the emergency happened. In addition to that, what you're doing is a service to the community. What you have done is to show that professionals can be part of volunteerism, and that there is no limit as to what other people might do, and you've shown the way, and I hope you continue, but pace yourself so that you last a long, long time.
Thank you, Art. I have a letter to read from Orange County Executive Lou Heimbach, who was unable to attend this evening. Dear Dr. Brown, although I am unable to attend this reception honoring you as the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year for 1985, I congratulate you on this fine honor. This award is being given to you because you best exemplify the person who has given the most to the tri-state community. Through your involvement as a volunteer fireman and serving on the boards of the American Red Cross chapter in Port Jervis and the Planning Board, you have taken the welfare of your fellow citizens to heart, and you are to be commended. Again, congratulations on this fine honor, and accept my heartfelt gratitude for your role in the bettering of the Orange County family. Sincerely, Lou Heimbach. Here with us this evening are members of Dr. Brown's office staff, and I'd like to introduce them to you at this time. Sandy Gillette and her husband, Paul. Who are you? Would you stand up? Dolores Jergel and her husband, Warren. And Barbara and Tracy Todd. Our next speaker is the Port Jervis Fire Chief, Michael Inella, who works closely with Dr. Brown in his capacity as a volunteer fireman. Michael?
I'd like to thank the Tri-States Gazette for inviting me here tonight. Dr. Brown is a definite asset to the Port Jervis Fire Department. Greg joined Fowler Rescue and Salvage Company Number 3 on February 13, 1984, and has been an active member from that time on. In reviewing the needs of our fire department in the city of Port Jervis, I chose to appoint Doc to the position of department physician on August 9, 1985. In serving this position, Doc answers virtually every alarm possible. We have equipped his personal vehicle with radio communications, enabling him to respond directly to the scene of any incident. The benefits of our department in the city of Port Jervis received by having a dedicated person serving in this capacity are many-sided. Doc is always at our side, offering our volunteer firefighters emergency medical attention at the scene of any emergency situation. He also assists and treats any fire or burn victims, giving them on-the-spot medical attention. We feel both honored and very fortunate in having Dr. Brown in the ranks of the Port Jervis Fire Department. On behalf of our entire membership, I offer our congratulations to Doc on receiving the Citizen of the Year award.
Thanks, Mike. Also with us tonight, representing the Port Jervis Fire Department, our First Assistant Chief James Roner. Would you stand up, Jim? Dick Drew, Fire Department Treasurer. Rocky Giovanello, Department, I think I made a mistake here. Rocky is treasurer, Dick is secretary. I'm sorry. Okay. The Reverend Richard Koffel, who is the fire department chaplain. And the line officers of Fowler Rescue and Salvage Company Number 3, Captain Hank Roberts. Second Lieutenant Mike Nason, Jr. Dive Master Tim Simmons. The President of Rescue 3, Russ Potter. And Secretary Bob Rumbasak. At this time, Tim Simmons will say a few words on behalf of the diving squad.
Back a few years, when I first became aware that Doc was going to become a member of the fire department, I can remember thinking to myself that here we go with another stuffed shirt, a type of guy that's going to come in and tell us all what we're going to do and how to do it and all these other things and run the show. But what we actually got was a guy who's down to earth and doesn't tell you what to do, but suggests what might be the best idea, guides you along towards the things that are going to eventually come out to be the right idea. He's come along with some very good ideas. He's done nothing but help improve the Port Jervis Fire Department and especially the diving squad in terms of better training and better techniques. And looking back now, I realize how wrong I was about Doc as being that type of a stuffed shirt and a guy who comes on with a lot of airs. There was never any reason for that, and I just thought that maybe as a professional he would look down at us as volunteers, and it's never been that way, and I don't think it would ever be that way now that I know the type of person that Doc is. He's a man that is more concerned with the community and helping other people than he is as how he's going to come off and running the show and that type of thing. And I don't think that we could do any better than we have by having Doc as a member of the Port Jervis Fire Department. Thank you.
Just briefly, I'd like to introduce you to some former winners of the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year Award who are with us tonight. They are, and please stand up when I call your name, Sister Mary Jean Ferrier, the Reverend Richard Avery, Dr. Frank Simpson, Marion Roner, Irene Hoppy, Irvin R. Fletcher, and Betty Jane Polanis, who was last year's winner. Have I forgotten anyone? Did I not see someone come in? Okay. Craig Brown was nominated for this year's award by Bill Richards, who sits with him on the planning board. Bill, would you stand up, please? Thank you. And also by James Roner, who's the first assistant chief of the Port Jervis Fire Department. Jim, would you say a few words now, please?
Problem when you get down near the end of the list, everything I had written down has already been said 2 or 3 times. Briefly, and obviously, as we all know, Dr. Brown began his full-time practice in Port Jervis about 4 years ago. I gave him to know Doc through my grandmother at the time, who had been admitted to the hospital with a heart ailment. I remember asking her when she went in the hospital who her doctor was, because of the fact that Dr. Fowler was also hospitalized at the time. She told me it was Dr. Brown. I said, well, what's he like? She said, well, he's a nice man with a gray beard and a gray hair. Says, other than that, he can't be too old because he has 4 young children. Shortly after, I got to know Dr. Brown much better through our fire department. Incidentally, and I think you're probably aware of it, but if you're ever on the way to his office and you hear the fire alarm, you have 2 choices. You can either go back home, sit in the office for a while, or you can go to the fire. It's the only place you're going to find him. And of course, when you're reading the paper, which the Tri-State Gazette, of course, any articles relative to the fire department with captions, you're going to look closely and you'll see Dr. Brown. He's always right in the middle of the operations, right with us. Whether it's a car accident, river rescue, a house fire, he's right in the midst of it. And we're certainly glad that he's there. Recently, the New York State OSHA has become more stringent, and they've set a lot of criteria relative to the fire department training, such as our facilities and our equipment and our health conditions for each and every member. Dr. Brown has been very actively involved in guiding us in the proper direction to comply with these regulations. As Mike had mentioned previously, Doc serves as our department physician, and it's an invaluable role to all of us. Craig symbolizes to me a replica of the older style doctor, only a very well-educated model. After going to his office with any ailment or any health problem, it's very common for Doc to call his patients on the phone just to see what's going on and keep track of everyone. Certainly not to publicize the fact, but he's also been known to make house calls when necessary, something that's almost unheard of today. Obviously, Doc is very active in our community, and particularly to me in the Port Jervis Fire Department, but also, as has been said, with the Red Cross, the City of Port Jervis Planning Board, and of course he also assists Janice with the Operation Depot situation. It was for these reasons that I nominated Doc for Citizen of the Year, with the knowledge that his wife Janice deserves an equal amount of recognition and thanks for sharing him with us.
Thank you, Jim. Our next speaker is George St. George, who is the administrator of Mercy Community Hospital. George?
Craig, it's my pleasure to congratulate you on behalf of the Sisters of Mercy, the Board of Directors, and the entire Mercy Hospital family. I think the litany of his accomplishments will be better told by others. When we came to this community a few months ago, we were looking for a doctor, and our family doctor is Craig Brown, and that's my respect for him as an individual. Looking around at what we're doing in this region for emergency medical services, standing out in front of everybody is Craig Brown. I had an opportunity to talk to George Moorkirk, who heads up the medevac helicopter program for the Lehigh Valley Hospital Center. George Moorkirk's comments, and he is a recognized expert in emergency medical services, was that fantastic. Couldn't get a better person out in the field. He's inexhaustible. He's there every night that they come in, 2 o'clock, anytime they come in. He's either treating the patient or he's out there with the fire department guiding, helping, and assisting. And that's the type of individual that we're honoring tonight. Somebody's there day, night, 24 hours a day. That's Craig Brown. Congratulations.
Thank you, George. Now I'd like to have Dr. David Brody, who is a colleague of Dr. Brown, say a few words. Dr. Brody? Okay.
Thank you, Janice. We're all here tonight to honor Dr. Brown for his dedication and involvement in the affairs of our community. Along with the demands of his daily work in the hospital and treating his patients, he has found the time to assist those involved in other aspects of the community. He has become a valuable member to this city, giving of his time and services to those who need him most. Upon his moving here, he rapidly became an integral part of the community life. His personal commitments to the fire department of our town has been an immense help to the firemen and our community as a whole. He is also very actively involved with the Erie Depot restoration. I think of his involvement in these projects has exceeded the expectations any other citizen could expect to offer. That is why we are honoring Dr. Brown with this award tonight. No community can survive without the involvement of its citizens. Dr. Brown has surpassed his commitments to this community. He came here with the idea of practicing medicine. Now he has a railroad depot to restore and a fire department to run. On behalf of the medical community, I congratulate Craig on becoming the Citizen of the Year. Thank you.
Time out for a commercial. This time I'd like to introduce you to some department heads who are with us tonight from the Tri-State Gazette. Lee Campbell, our general manager, and his wife Claudia. Mike Cole, who is our advertising manager. Roger Maltby, our production manager, and his wife Judy. Circulation manager Bob Fredericks. And last but not least, Richard Lafreniere, who is our commercial accounts coordinator, and his wife Artis. I'd like to thank Richard for all that he's done to make the preparations for this evening. He really did a nice job. Thank you, Richard. Now, the commercial is that tomorrow night you can watch these proceedings on Access Channel 8 at 7:30? 7:30. Okay. What? Oh. And also, of course, Craig will be front page news tomorrow in the Tri-State Gazette. But there will also be a very special section coming out tomorrow called Directions 86 that I think you'll all enjoy very much. Now our next speaker is Jerry Malbin, who is chairman of the Port Jervis Planning Board. Jerry?
I promised I'd be brief. That's a heck of a thing to ask of a lawyer. But let's try. How many Craig Browns are there? I remember the first Craig Brown I met, he had a beard. And then I remember the next Craig Brown I met, he shaved off the beard. Didn't look like the same guy. But I also remember the first conversation I had with Craig Brown, and I think it was at the dedication ceremony or groundbreaking of Cronar, because Craig was on the Planning Commission, and we talked, and I made the foolish mistake of asking him one question. I said, outside of practicing medicine, what do you do with your time? And, of course, we all know everything. Not knowing what he did with his time, I asked him if he played golf with me, and he proved to me that he had a sense of humor. He said, his answer was, I don't know one end of the caddy from the other. You remember that? Since then, of course, we all know he does everything. And at the City Planning Commission, we do get Craig Brown's attendance, and we get his attention, and, of course, his volunteerism. I think his most outstanding contribution to the business of the commission is that he is constantly concerned for safety and welfare of the community and for the safety and welfare of those concerned with and affected by any project that we have under review. But I must say, that's not all he brings to the City Planning Commission meetings. He also has that thing attached to his belt. And I never know at a meeting whether that's going to go off, whether he's going to rush out to a fire, whether he's going to rush out to an invasion from Mars or a drowning or what the heck it is. Do you have it on now? Turn it off, please. Craig, on behalf of the Planning Commission, on behalf of the community, and on behalf of myself personally, you are the Citizen of the Year, and congratulations to you.
Thank you, Jerry. I've been scared to death all night that I would forget someone, and I did. Made a terrible omission. I'd like to introduce to you Stan Hoynoski, who is the new editor at the Tri-State Gazette. He's the man who gives me my paycheck. I'm really sorry. Our next speaker is Beth Spar, who is the executive director of the Port Pike chapter of the American Red Cross, of which Craig is a member of the advisory board.
Well, I think you've made the greatest choice in the world. The first time, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, will you please excuse this? The first time I ever was in Dr. Brown's presence was at an annual meeting. And when I heard that he came from the part of New Jersey that I have a lot of relatives in, I mentioned my relatives. And he said, yes, I know them, and they're stuffy. Now, I've been trying to convince my family of that for years. And now is almost a total stranger that absolutely agreed with me. So he endeared himself to me, and he's kept right on doing it. I think it's been a very wise choice. I think that Dr. Brown is somebody that we can be so proud of, that his family is marvelous. He's got a great wife. And he's a great member of the Port Pike chapter of the American Red Cross, and he is always there to help us. And once again, Dr. Brown, thank you for coming to Port Jervis.
Thank you, Beth. Our next speaker will be Police Officer Tom McCune, who is the president of the Policemen's Benevolent Association. Tom.
Evening. On behalf of the Port Jervis PBA, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Tri-State Gazette on their excellent choice as Citizen of the Year. I feel that they've made an excellent choice. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Doc Brown and to extend my congratulations and to, again, thank him for the services he's provided to the membership of the Port Jervis PBA in the past. As a result of the assistance he's provided to the PBA, we recently elected him to the post of PBA physician, a post that we regard very highly. Doc Brown, I can personally say, I've called upon him for his opinions and his assistance in not only professional matters, but matters on a personal level. I'm certain the most often heard words by Doc Brown are, "Hey Doc, you got a minute?" And his reply always seems to be the same, "Sure, what can I do for you?" And it's that dedication that's the reason he's achieved the notoriety that he's being attributed to him tonight. And I'm certain that I speak for the entire community when I say that we're very pleased and greatly appreciate the fact that he's chosen the city of Port Jervis to be his very own community. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Craig teaches a class in first aid to the Matamoros Volunteer Ambulance Corps, and here to represent them is Jim Crawford. Jim?
Janice will straighten one thing out first. It's the Port Jervis Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Matamoros doesn't have one as much as we'd like to have one. But that's all right. A few years ago, when Dr. Brown first came here, we had heard from Sister Mary Jean that they're going to have some emergency room physicians in the hospital, an outside group coming in. Well, one of the first ambulance calls that I was on, and I walked in, And here's this hairy-looking fella standing there with a beard. He was the emergency room doctor. And I first wondered, what are we getting into here now? I thought this was supposed to be an improvement. Well, we soon found out the doctor had a very quiet and efficient manner, and he had a firm way of taking charge in an emergency situation. And one thing that we in the ambulance squad appreciated was the fact that he would stop and talk to us about a call. He would critique a call for us, let us know what we had done that may have been wrong or that we could have done better, and we developed a very fine rapport with him. So consequently, when we had an EMT class coming up, we asked if he would give a couple of lectures, and he was happy to do that. So with the first aid classes and the EMT classes since then, the students have requested that he come because he has a very unique way of explaining emergency first aid. And since he has had some experience in the metropolitan New Jersey area and some of the types of emergency problems they have down in Newark, it was very interesting in some of these classes. We really wanted him to join the ambulance corps, but really all we could offer him was a green light. Now, when the fire department came along and offered him a red light, a helmet, coat, and a pair of boots, we lost out. Doctor, I don't know if you realize it or not, but you've really realized every little boy's dream. You've grown up to be a fireman and be able to play a doctor.
Two years ago this month, Craig Brown's kitchen table became famous because it was the scene of the first meeting of a group of people who wanted to purchase and restore the dilapidated Erie Depot on Jersey Avenue in Port Jervis. Craig has never been an official member of Operation Depot, but he was responsible for planting the seed of an idea that has almost reached fruition. When the depot is finished, his name won't be on any plaques or contracts to testify that he had anything to do with the whole project. But when all is said and done, he has been one of the people who made the whole thing happen. Our last testimonial for the evening will be from Day Carroll, who is president of the Depot Preservation Society.
If you're lucky, Craig, they're going to edit, and you won't have the advertisement that says you make house calls. This is my speech, but at first they told me Janice was going to be the recipient. So, since it's Craig... Actually, this is a malpractice contract. I've been very fortunate because I've been a participant of that kitchen cabinet that exists in Port Jervis, part of the Craig Brown household. I've received everything from medical treatment there to just good old-fashioned advice. Craig is an individual that tonight I think everybody was aware that he was making this contribution. But tonight we were able to speak from the heart and tell him how much we appreciate the contribution. What are you going to do for an encore? Is that why you got Betty Jane here? Betty Jane, what do you do this year? He made his wife the politician. As Betty Jane made her brother. We have a little ditty that we say at the Depot Preservation Society meetings, and it's to put a chain on me primarily. We must be articulate and concise. That's why I brought this. It was to scare the living right out of Janice McCann, because I have never been known to be concise. And it's very difficult to be that way when you speak from the heart. Craig has had a different type of medical education, working first as an orderly, and then as Jim said, in municipal emergency situations, and traveling to Boston and being part of a surgical team there, seeing diverse areas of the medical operation, and yet he comes across to you as what epitomizes Americana, the old-fashioned country doctor. In New England, the farther you get up, the more abbreviated they are in their descriptions of people. He epitomizes superlatives. When you talk of Craig Brown, you have to say, as they would in New England, finest kind. Finest kind of man, finest kind of husband, finest kind of doctor, and finest kind of father. I don't know where I could go beyond that, because before us we have, in the flesh, that superlative. We are fortunate. He has made these contributions to us in a short span of 4 years, and we're hopeful that it will continue, and it will be the seed that will allow this community to grow in his fashion. With the volunteerism that this community has offered repeatedly over the years, and we've had our tragedies. You know, we are now sitting in a memorial. This building 5 years ago at this time was, well, it was out there. About this time 5 years ago, we could all be walking on water. Craig has epitomized that. He has come to this community and, in a human form, has walked on water. I don't wish to deify him because he's not that type. As a matter of fact, I was amazed when he came in. We've had a number of dinners together over the course of the last few years. Jen, how'd you get him to dress up? Enough said. I have to watch my editor. I have been the victim over the last 2 years of being pushed to the forefront to be the spokesman for the depot. But the depot is a project that had its roots at the Craig Brown kitchen table. And like I said, it has swelled the ranks. We have now in excess of 10,000 people that have made monetary contributions. I can't begin to give you the number of people that have made non-monetary contributions in time, energy. And one of the catalysts and one of the steadying forces from day one has been Craig Brown. I have burdened his wife unbearably to the point where when Craig answers, he knows my voice and says, "I'll get the boss." And he epitomizes, as Peter says, he is the master of the understatement. Craig can put into a short phrase what I've been trying to put from the heart tonight to this community. This is the type of people that we are proud to have in the Tri-States community. I'm saying that because I don't want anybody to get confused about Craig not being part of Matamoros, Port Jervis, or Montague. We were recently involved in a fire down in Montague, and my cousin had the misfortune trying to find Craig to assist an elderly lady. And he went out in his bare feet in the snowstorm for about 2 hours looking for a doctor. And he came back and he said, "I can't find that damn Dr. Brown." And Craig turned around in his fireman's uniform and said, "I'm Dr. Brown." But that's the type of individual he is. And Craig, since I am the last speaker, I think, at least they put me on at the end because they knew that I would be the longest, and by now you'd all be ready to give him a standing ovation, and that's what I'm going to ask for right now.
This time I'd like to present P. Lee Campbell, who's the general manager of the Tri-State Gazette, who will give Craig his award.
Well, no, you were wrong. I'm the last speaker. Fortunately. Craig, let me take just a couple of moments very briefly. When you do this sort of thing at a small newspaper in a small town, a small community, you enter into it with some trepidation, or at least I do. Having been here for a short time, seems a long time, but only 9 months, a little less than that, I think. It seems a little presumptuous for some of us at the paper to sit down and say, who's the most deserving person in Port Jervis or in our tri-state area as Citizen of the Year. We reviewed a lot of names and a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities for the person tonight who would receive these accolades. A lot of good people, and the choice was certainly not an easy one. And a lot of good choices could have been made, but I think it's clear from the overwhelming and deep reservoir of sincere feeling that's been generated here tonight, we made an awfully good choice in Craig Brown. In reality, it certainly is not the Tri-State Gazette awarding Craig Brown recognition. It's Craig Brown awarding all of us recognition and service. And we thank him very much for that. We have the traditional award every year is a front page from the Tri-State Gazette. This is the story is tomorrow's story, obviously, on Craig. This is today's paper. Craig S. Brown named Citizen of the Year. Says it all. Hope you all will still buy the Gazette tomorrow. And with great pride and humility, I present this to you.
After what everybody said, I can only say I'd probably feel more comfortable if this were a roast. But thank you very much. It's just overwhelming to know that you have this many friends, and I hope that I can continue to serve all of you in any way that needs to be done, and I guess that's all I can say. Thank you again very much.
Does Sam want to say a few words, Jim? Oh. Usually she tells me to go home. She wants to go to bed. Before closing, I'd like to read you a very special communication from Dr. Harry Fowler, Craig's former partner, who's spending the winter in Florida and could not be with us tonight. I have just learned of your selection of Dr. Craig Brown as Citizen of the Year. My congratulations to you for a most deserved selection. Dr. Brown's accomplishments during the few years among us have been truly commendable, both as a concerned citizen and devoted physician. To Craig, I send my heartfelt congratulations and admiration. You have been a noble example to the community for your civic devotion. You are a credit to your colleagues in your profession. I wish I could be present to congratulate you personally. May God give you strength to continue with your devotion to your fellow men. Most sincerely, Harry R. Fowler. And to Dr. Fowler's congratulations, I'd like to add my own. God bless you, Craig. It's a pleasure to know you. Thank you all for coming, and please stay to enjoy the hors d'oeuvres and punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here this evening with Janice Brown and her family. Janice is the wife of Dr. Craig Brown, who this year has been selected as the Tri-State Citizen of the Year. Good evening, Janice. Thank you for bringing the celebrity with you.
Hi, Steve.
Maybe we could take a minute, Janice, and your children could introduce themselves. Let's start with the biggest. You are?
Abby.
And how old are you, Abby?
11.
And you are?
I'm Megan, and I'm 10.
And what did you think of your dad being selected Citizen of the Year?
I don't know.
Are you happy for him?
Yeah.
Do you think he deserves it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good for you. And you are?
Seth.
Seth. And how old are you, Seth?
7.
7. And you are?
Samantha. I mean Samara.
Samara. And what do you want to be when you grow up, Samara?
Fire girl.
A fire girl. Well, isn't that nice? Janice, maybe you have a couple of comments on Craig's selection for us this evening and for our viewing audience.
Look, I'm the lady who washes his underwear.
I think that rather summarizes it. We'd like to thank you all for stopping by. Enjoy the evening, and thank you. Standing with Gene King. I think Gene is a rather familiar face to many of you viewers around the tri-state area. How you doing this evening, Gene? Gene was the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year of 1983. Gene, if I can ask you a question, what did the honor of being selected as Citizen of the Year mean to you when you received it back in 1983?
I felt quite honored at the fact that I was chosen as the Citizen of the Year due to my walks from Port Jervis to Middletown. And I never knew I had so many friends that would put me in for the choice of Citizen of the Year. And I upheld my stature for the Citizen of the Year, and I'm sure that Dr. Craig Brown will do likewise in return.
And do you have anything planned for this year as far as walks, Gene?
Well, I've completed my goal. I walked from Horton to Mercy, from Mercy to Horton, and from White Plains to Port Jervis, contributing funds from each one. My next walk will be in 1987, where I'll walk from Port Jervis to Garden Grove, Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California. It's approximately 3,119 miles. And I've even talked to the funeral director, not because I'm not going to make it, but I talked to him about he figured on the calculator. It'll take me about 8 months to complete. But you see, once you complete one goal, then just another one. I've completed one, so now number 2 is on the list.
And that's a rather large undertaking, isn't it?
Well, but it's to prove a point to people that because of willpower and a want-to-do attitude, there's nothing you can't do. I'm sure that I'm, some kind of obstacle to some people. They must say, well, boy, he can't do this, he can't do that, but I'll do it because you say that.
Well, we'd like to thank you for coming by tonight, Gene. Thanks again.
Thank you for Dr. Craig Brown.
Good deal. 2 other past recipients of the Citizen of the Year Award, Irene Hoppy and Sister Mary Jean. Good evening.
Good evening.
Irene, I'd like to ask you a question. What did it mean to you when you were selected as the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year?
Well, of course, in the very beginning, complete surprise. Who would ever think that I was going to get this kind of an award? I think you can't help it but to be just thrilled to death to think you've gotten it. But of course, I think as in doing volunteer work, you're doing it, you're never thinking of the awards part that you're going to be receiving. But of course, when you do get it, you greatly appreciate it. And I know I have always been very proud that I have won that time Union Gazette Award.
Do you have any comments for the many, many people who are involved in volunteerism here in the tri-state area?
Well, we have a lot of volunteers. There's no doubt about it. I myself have tried to retire, but just don't try because you never make it. But anyway, I do think that we are fortunate in having the many volunteers we do have. And I would encourage younger people to try to get out and start to do some volunteer work because the rewards are always worthwhile.
And that's some terrific advice. Sister Mary Jean, do you have any comments on this year's selection, Dr. Brown, since you have a rather close working relationship with him at the hospital?
I think it's an excellent selection. I was thinking today of people in the community whom I know very well and wondering just who it would be. But I do not think there could have been a better choice. Dr. Brown came to my office, I really just can't recall the number of years back, only 4 he says, it seems longer than that, although it was a while before his appointment was processed. And I wondered what a thoracic surgeon coming out of Boston was doing in Port Jervis and applying for emergency department work. And I truly never had an answer to that for a long, long time. But I think tonight sums up the reasons why. He's a man of community service, and his gifts are far better given to a community like Port Jervis than swallowed in a large city like Boston, in my estimation. I have enjoyed having Dr. Brown with us. He's made tremendous contributions to the staff of the hospital, and I do believe that tonight was a very, very wonderful experience for all of us to know that in a city like Port Jervis we have such a wonderful example. I do want to say, having spent most of my life before coming here in the big city of New York, which I still love, I am deeply impressed with the volunteerism and the depth of it, the scope of it, and the number of wonderful people involved in it, and I'm proud to be among them.
And I think I would have to agree with you. I think we've seen volunteers do an awful lot for the community. I think not only for the medical practices around town, but also for things like the Red Cross and a lot of the other various clubs and organizations in town. Do you think this will provide any stimulus in the community among people who may know Dr. Brown to get more involved in things?
Well, one would hope that it would have to do this, because I don't think that anybody could be aware of this, read about it, be present tonight, see about it, without being inspired to want to try to join the ranks of so many wonderful people, and tonight our recipient of the award.
Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight and for stopping by and sharing some time with us. Enjoy the evening. We have two other past recipients of the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year Award. On my right is Marion Rohner, and next to her is Dr. Frank Simpson. I wonder if I could have some of your impressions of this evening's festivities, Marion, and what you think of the selection of Dr. Brown as Citizen of the Year this year.
It was very well deserved. He is such a wonderful volunteer. Everybody loves him. In the short time he's been here, it's been our good fortune. He's a dedicated man, and they couldn't have made a better choice.
Dr. Simpson, do you know Dr. Brown at all?
Yes. I first met Craig through Janice and through the activities of the Operation Depot, and found, and I have to second Marion's feeling, that it was an excellent choice. I think that, truthfully, sometimes we have to say that it should be both Dr. and Mrs. Brown, because she is as big a pusher of the community as the doctor. But with the family, you have to choose. And in this case, it turned out to be the doctor. So I am very, very pleased to be here tonight and to have been a part of this, because I feel it was an excellent choice.
Do you think Dr. Brown's going to need a press agent after all this notoriety?
I think he has been made famous.
And well-deservedly, I think.
Well-deservedly.
No question about that.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for joining us tonight and for participating with us.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, Marion, thank you again.
You're welcome.
The pleasure of standing with the person that we're all here tonight to honor, and I'd like to congratulate you, Dr. Craig Brown, on behalf of not only everyone here, but Access 8 Television. How'd you feel tonight when you walked in the door and you realized that this wasn't just a quiet family dinner?
It was a total surprise, and I figured I didn't belong here, more or less.
I noticed that you tried to do a couple of back steps when you walked in.
But I was too far away from the door.
Doctor, do you think that the notoriety this evening is going to affect your abilities as a physician?
No, I don't think so.
Tongue-in-cheek there.
Yeah, this isn't gonna make any difference one way or the other.
You don't think you're going to need a press agent after this evening?
Oh, Rich Tarbell's been on my payroll for 2 years now.
You know, Doctor, on a serious note, you've set a really tremendous example for volunteerism here in the tri-state area, and you've done that in a really short time. I wonder if there's any comments you'd like to make to the viewing audience about your impression of the volunteerism and the support or lack thereof that you've noticed in the community in the years that you've been with us.
It seems to be getting better every year.
every person seems to have a button that you push, and all of a sudden they light up and they say, I'll do it. And we just have to find the right buttons on everybody, because I'm sure that almost everybody here has something they can contribute. A lot of people don't think that they have much talent or anything that they can do, but any organization can use any talent, and I think that I look very optimistically at the way things are going to happen in the tri-state area in the next few years.
Well, I'd like to just venture a comment and say that those very buttons that you were talking about that probably need some pushing, I think your selection as Citizen of the Year has gone a long way to push those buttons, and I think it's going to have a terrific impact on the tri-state area because of the people that you know and the lives that you've affected and the things that you've been able to do.
Thank you very much.
And we'd like to thank you for being with us tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we do a little soft shoe while we're running.
Tonight's program was produced by XS8, directed by Will Hoppy. Interviews by Steve Butler. Camera, Will Hoppy. Technician, Frank Herman. Edited by Will Hoppy, Steve Butler, and Frank Herman. Tonight's program is copyright February 26, 1986.
Public Access 8 would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Craig Brown as the Tri-State Gazette Citizen of the Year. On behalf of everyone here at the station, we'd like to wish Dr. Brown and his family continued success and happiness. This concludes our broadcasting for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our program. Thank you for watching.
This is Steve Butler from Access Channel 8, and we're here at the first annual Tri-State Home and Business Expo at the Matamoros Firehouse in Matamoros, Pennsylvania. We're going to be discussing today the ideas that brought this show into existence with various people that have been here today, including Tom Barrett, the producer of the show. We'll also be asking some of the patrons who have stopped by today as to their feelings about the success of the show and whether or not it's accomplished the goal that it set out to do, and that's to bring business and community together here in the tri-state area. So stay with us. I'm standing with Tom Barrett, the producer of this year's Expo 86. Tom, how did the idea for Expo 86 originate?
Well, Steve, I was talking with Hank Kidney in the area, and it became apparent that there was a need for business people to say hello to the community and to homeowners in the area. We thought that the advertising in the different ways are wonderful with the newspaper, radio, and things like this. I thought, let's take it one more step this time, and let's do an annual get-together, and it's kind of an acquaintance. So that's really how it came about, just talking about the area, the tri-state area, where it's going, and how maybe we can help to generate some camaraderie and some togetherness.
Terrific. How long ago was that?
That was the first week of December that the idea was first born.
And you've been able to get all this together in that short a period of time?
Well, I won't use the I in this conversation with you, because it was just one idea that was supported by dozens of people, Steve, and I can say with hundreds of people, yes, it came together in 4 months. So it wasn't a one-man show, believe me.
Well, that's terrific. The theme for the show this year, I noticed, is bringing business and community together. Do you feel that, since this is your first shot at this, do you feel that that goal's been accomplished for you, Tom?
Steve, I think it's been wonderfully fulfilled. I really do. The logo of the show, which is the two hands coming together, one hand is representing business and one hand is representing community, I think is being felt since 11 o'clock yesterday morning when we first opened this year. So yes, it's been accomplished. There's a lot of good feeling among everyone here. And,
yes, there is.
And I've heard from the public that it just feels so positive once they walk through those doors, and that's really what we wanted. We want good feeling in our community here.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that the baby's been born, so to speak, what do you think it's going to take to nourish it and to continue some of these types of shows in the area in the years to come?
I think the one thing that it's going to take is commitment to the original philosophy, and that is bringing us together, business and community. This is a chance for development, and in the tri-state area, we're hearing in the news that Orange County, Pike County are the fastest growing counties in their respective states. I think business needs this type of development. So as far as nourishing, it's going to take believers like it has here. Believers, philosophy, commitment, and setting our goals a little higher at a time. But the reason they'll be a little higher will be to benefit more people, Steve, not any type of grandiose fantasies.
Mm-hmm. I heard a comment made, interestingly enough, the other day that Tom Barrett is one of those fellows who doesn't just sit around and talk about things that should get done in the area, that he's actually aggressive and ambitious enough to go out and do them. How would you comment to that?
Well, I have trouble with just talking about things and not doing things with them. If I want to pursue something, yes, I like to go for it. I believe in some of those sayings, like you have to make it happen, and I really do. But it's rewarding for me to squash the philosophy that no one is aggressive, no one wants to take any action. Today's show and this weekend proves that there are people out there that want to do things and make it happen. So Steve, maybe I go for it at times, but I've had a lot of people with me, and that's what's satisfying.
Are you pleased with the turnout that you've had here in the last 2 days?
Very happy with the turnout, very happy. We've had some good publicity and good word of mouth. Yes, I won't say the word throngs of people, but we've had many, many people walk through these doors today. I would say right now it's estimated at 2,000 people have walked through those doors to join us this weekend, Steve.
That's terrific. That's a great response, I think, for a first annual. And I'm sure in the future you can only look to improve on that.
I believe it, Steve, and I hope I'm a part of the future events, and I feel good about being a part of this first one. I'm at this minute right now talking to you, I'm fulfilled.
Terrific. Have you heard any responses, positive or negative, from any of the exhibitors at the show today?
Nothing negative at all. Everyone is busy with actually introducing themselves to the Mr. and Mrs. of the area, and it's wonderful. Being in business, it's hard sometimes to really make someone believe you care about them, that they're spending their dollars with you. This is a way of I think, cementing that belief and that desire of a business person. And everyone's so happy here, displaying their wares, talking about their services. It's wonderful.
I notice it's very obvious when you come into the expo here that there really isn't a commercial nature to the show. Some of the food concessions obviously are selling things over the counter, but basically it's an information sharing or an educational process. Do you see that as being key to the philosophy of shows like this in the future?
Most definitely. In my introduction letter, Steve, I wanted to let people know that we're in a secure, friendly, non-threatening environment. And you won't hear a lot of cash registers ringing here today. It really wasn't that type of thing. Once again, it was an opportunity to answer the 5 W's, meaning if I'm a business person, I would like to say to the Mr. and Mrs., my name is, I am on such and such a street, and this is what I do, and this is why I feel I'd like to do business with you. We've answered the W's for the public today, and they've answered us with their support, and it's really been great, Steve.
Well, I want to congratulate you and your group, I think, for a huge success here this year. And we sure hope to see you back here again next year in the years to come. Thanks again, Tom Barrett.
Thank you, Steve.
With Eileen Harding, Port Jervis, New York. Eileen, how did you feel when Tom Barrett first approached you about participating in an exhibition like this?
I felt very positive about it. I think it's a very good idea. It's a nice way to expose the businesses to the people of the community.
Do you also like the non-commercial nature of it?
I think that's the best part of it. It's a very friendly atmosphere. We're getting to know the people a little bit better, and the people are getting to know us better.
Mm-hmm. Now, we asked Tom if he thought that his theme of bringing business in the community together had been accomplished. What are your feelings on that comment?
I think it has been done, and I think the people will tell you that as you walk around. A lot of people feel that they're part of this, and more people have asked us if they can join us next year.
Great. Are you going to be back next year?
Absolutely.
Terrific. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
You're welcome.
Poland, one of the exhibitors here at Expo 86. Good afternoon, Marcia. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing real well, thank you. How do you think the show's going for you?
Oh, great. It really is going good. I wasn't sure about it at first, and it's going well. I've had people already come from the show and go straight to my shop and bring my flyers and get their 15% off, and it's just going great.
Did I detect a little skepticism in your voice about how well this thing was going to go?
At first, yeah, I wasn't sure about it. Tom had called me, and I know it was the first one, and usually the first of anything, sort of, you never know if it's going to go well or if people are going to come, and I'm really pleased.
So it's been better than you expected?
It's been great. It's really good.
What things do you think could be done to improve a show like this in the future?
Probably a larger area, trying to get more businesses, which I feel probably like next year and the year after, every business that didn't come in is going to hear about it and want to be in it next year, and we're probably going to need, bigger space and maybe outside, something, with a big top or something like that. Outside in warmer weather would be good.
You sound like you can come back then.
Oh, yes, definitely. It's definitely made a believer out of me.
Well, good. Thank you, Marcia, for sharing your views with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm with Bruce Erlin of Milford. Bruce, how did you feel when Tom Barrett first approached you about getting involved in an expo like this?
Steve, I was kind of surprised. I hadn't expected it in our area, but I think it's long overdue. And it took me about 5 seconds to decide that the business that I was in could probably benefit by it.
So you definitely feel there's a need for something like this in the tri-state area?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're, I think, in an area that's growing rapidly, and I think that something of this helps to expose to the public all the different businesses that are around here. I mean, there are a lot of sophisticated things in our area that people don't suspect to find here.
You are one of the exhibitors who is exhibiting outside today. How's that work for you?
Cold, thank you. Basically quite good. Being in the automobile business, we need a lot of square footage, so it's not practical to be on an inside facility. But I am very surprised at the volume of people that we have had come through, and I'm very pleased with the activity.
What would you guess as far as the response to the show, number of people through the show in the last couple of days?
I really can't put a finger on it. Being outside, I suppose a number of people go around us as well as come and visit us. But, quite a few thousand people have come to visit our display.
What do you think could be done in the future, Bruce, to improve on a good idea?
Well, I believe that since we have a limited inside facility here, that something along the size of a large tent display for other people who need to be enclosed would let us expand this. I know a number of other merchants in Milford were very interested in participating, but by the time they learned about it, the space was already sold out.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with all those dancing girls that you have in all the vans outside wearing those bikinis?
Well, I'm going to put them back in the motorhome and transport them to their mothers.
Terrific. Thanks for coming by,
Thanks, Steve.
Bruce.
Appreciate it.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Art Strong, another exhibitor here at Expo 86. Art, how did you first get involved with the idea for Expo 86?
Well, Tom Barrett, who is the father of this expo, got in touch with us, and it sounded like a tremendous idea, and we got in together with it, and we went to a meeting, and it sounded like a real fabulous idea. This is a slow time of year with the winter doldrums, and we thought this would be very opportune. The timing sounded good, and it worked out perfectly. It was a real success. The show is fabulous. The response is tremendous, and I don't think we could ask for anything more.
Do you think the other exhibitors share your feelings about the success of the show?
I think that's the general attitude throughout the whole show. Everybody is very content, and it worked out just perfectly. It was a really successful show. The crowds were pouring in here yesterday. Most of us were doubtful Thomases. We thought possibly it would go off to a slow start, but when it opened at 11 o'clock, the crowds came in, and they didn't stop coming till we closed the doors 8 o'clock last night.
What do you think could be done in the future, Art, to make this a better show?
Well, I think the next step now is we're going to have to expand. The growth is going to be tremendous. I can see that. We're going to need a larger area for display, and I think everything is formulating in a good way because it really took off. The public is clamoring for it, and it's just what this area needs. It's going to bolster the whole area, and it's going to make people aware of what kind of businesses are in the area.
So you think it really has served a purpose for our community?
It definitely has. It was just what we needed. This is adding a whole new life into Port Jervis area, in the tri-state area.
Well, good. Thanks for sharing your views with us, Art.
Okay, thank you.
Now we'll just... And what's your name?
Hi, my name is Pat Beza from Matamoros.
And you're an exhibitor here at the show, correct,
Yes,
Pat?
we do have an exhibit here.
And how has it gone for you for the last couple of days?
It has gone fairly well. Actually, we decided to join the exhibit here because of the exposure. We're new at the business, and we thought this would be a very good way to get exposure, and it's gone very well.
Were you ever at all skeptical about the success of a first annual anything?
Yes, I certainly was. But I think the weather held back a lot of people as far as numbers of people concerned coming here. And it's, as you said, with something new, a lot of people do not want to be bothered with that.
And do you think possibly, we've heard other people this afternoon mention that next year it might be a nice idea to have outside. Do you think that would help the attendance at all?
I think it would help the attendance, and also something planned perhaps for the spring or summer, where the weather isn't such a forbidding factor.
Mm-hmm. The basic theme, Pat, to the show was to bring business and community together, to provide the community with information about various businesses that are here.
Yes.
Do you think the show has succeeded in accomplishing that?
I really do. I think the number of people that I have seen come through here commented on what a very good diversity of exhibits there were, and they seemed very pleased.
Well, good. We'd like to thank you for sharing your ideas with us, Pat.
Thank you very much.
And good luck for the balance of the show.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. With Tom Hoey, another exhibitor here at the show. Tom, how's it gone for you?
Pretty good. We've had a lot of people, a lot of crowd coming through. You know, it's not really selling that much, which we didn't intend we think we were going to do anyway, but it's more for getting out there and letting people know where you are and what kind of products you do carry, and it's been very informative. I think a lot of people enjoyed being here for the weekend.
Do you feel it's filling a need in the community, a show like this?
Definitely. Yeah, a lot of people don't, even though they lived in the area all their life, they don't know where you are, what you carry. They see the advertisements in the paper, but they don't know what products you do carry. So at least you can get out there and show them what you do have.
Mm-hmm. How do you think the response has been from the public?
Very good, very good. We've had a lot of traffic, a lot of walking through traffic, a lot of people walking around shopping. Mm-hmm. And it's been colder. There's anything else to do all weekend anyway.
What would you like to see as far as improvements or enhancements for shows to come in the future?
I would definitely like to see it done a little bit later in the spring, where it's a little warmer, you can get some more outside booths, different demonstrations out there and businesses, and it might work out a little bit better that way, a little more room, a little more area for the people to walk around.
Mm-hmm. So do you see the show traveling in the future, maybe holding it in Port Jervis and holding it in Milford?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. You know, you had 24, 25 businesses this year. Hopefully next year it'll go up to 36 or 50 even. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of more businesses that will participate future when they've seen the turnout that it's been so far this year.
Well, good. I'm glad it's going well for you, and thanks for sharing your time with us today.
That's quite all right.
Good.
Quite all right.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jim Wilson.
And what brought you to Expo 86?
Well, I'm just one of the exhibitors here, trying to have a good time and just getting our product out.
And how do you think it's gone for the exhibitors this year at Expo 86?
I've seen a lot of people coming through the doors, and they seem to be having a good time, and they're surprised that they see as much as they see.
What do you think a show like this does for the tri-state community?
Well, it brings it more together, and it shows all the people that are around the area that what is really available to them, and they don't have to go traveling all over the place because it's all right here.
Kind of centralizes things.
Yeah.
Would you come back next year?
Of course.
What things do you think, Jim, could be done to even make this a better show than it has been this year?
More room and more exhibits. Really let the people know what's going on in the area. I'm one of the people that are really for a community find, where they know that they can find everything they need right here. They don't have to go far.
Well, terrific. Thanks for sharing your views with us today, Jim, and good luck for the balance of the show.
And thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
In a word from another exhibitor here at Expo 86 this year. Frank, how did you first get involved with the idea of Expo 86?
Well, Tom Barrett called me on the telephone at my shop and told me he was putting it together and asked me if I would be interested in it.
Were you ever at all skeptical about getting involved in a show like this in an area like Fort Jervis?
No, not at all. I never had a problem with it. I felt as soon as Tom told me about it, I said that's something that the area should have, and I'm glad somebody had the foresight to put it together and, you know, go for it. I think this is great. I never had a doubt.
Are you pleased with the showing today, with the public response to the expo?
I'm more than pleased. I'm more than pleased. I didn't know, you know, what kind of interest there would be in it because it is the first one, you know. But the turnout's been incredible and the people have been great, you know. So I'm more than pleased with the results.
Frank, in a word or in a short sentence, what do you think a show like this provides to the community?
Well, it gives everybody in the area an opportunity to come to one place to see the variety of businesses that are available to them for, you know, whatever they may be shopping for, because I think everybody is shopping for something, you know, on any given day and any given time. And this is an opportunity for everybody to come here and find out what they have in their area, you know, so they don't have to travel to find it. It's right here.
Would you show again next year?
Without a doubt. After the show is over here, I'm going to talk to Tom and see if I can reserve a spot for next year's exposition.
Do you have any ideas as to how Tom or future producers could make this even a better show than it has been for the surrounding area this year?
Well, due to the fact that it's the first one and the hall size, Tom has for the first one an exclusivity thing involved where there's one of each different type of business. And I think in the future I would like to see, you know, it opened up to there be more than one, you know, a couple of each different type of business, because I think a spirit of competition is good and necessary, and that would give the people an even wider variety of what they can have to deal with and who they have to deal with in the area.
Well, thanks for sharing your views with us today, Frank.
All right, thank you.
And what's your name, ma'am?
Donna Yakovich.
And Donna, are you an exhibitor at the show?
No, I'm not. Just came here to see the show.
And what brought you out?
I'm just curious to see all the businesses in the area and what they have to offer.
What do you think of it for a first annual?
I think it's very good, fantastic.
What do you think it does or provides to the community?
Well, it gives them an idea what different new businesses are in the area or new things they have to offer.
Would you come back again?
Sure would.
Terrific. Thanks for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jim Williams from Matamoros, Pennsylvania. Jim, how did you first get involved in the Tri-State Home and Business Expo?
Well, Tom came to me and approached with the idea a long time ago, and the idea I knew was a winner. It's just that you needed somebody to go about it and present the whole thing into a form that to actually get the ball rolling. So when he came to me with the idea, I gave him all the help that I could on my end, and he's done a wonderful job, and I would say he deserves most of the credit for bringing this fine show to the area.
Now, you're an exhibitor, Jim. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes. When did you first have to come over to set up for this?
Well, it's kind of tough here at the fire hall because the fire hall does need this place on a Friday night. So we had to come early in the morning, actually, like after midnight Friday, to do the initial setups. And the roughing out. Tom and his crew did all the curtain work and all the main stuff. As an exhibitor, we had the option of coming Friday night or into early Saturday morning. And I was here very early Saturday morning. A lot of hard work. I worked right up until the show opened.
About how many hours would you say it took for you to put your booth and exhibit together?
Well, my booth was kind of unique with the heavy equipment that I had to bring in and everything. I say I was every bit of 6 hours between the two nights putting it up.
What do you think an expo like this does, Jim, for the residents of the tri-state area?
Well, I think it really, as the theme goes, it brings business and community together, and I think it's very necessary, especially because there are so many businesses. It gives the people the attitude to meet these individuals face to face, and I think that's the most important part. You're not dealing with a person over the counter; you're dealing with a person one-on-one, and you get to realize more as a person than a businessman. I think that's very important.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Expo 86?
Oh, I'd say it's a 10 plus. Looking forward to next year.
And what things do you think could be done next year to make this even better?
Well, we are limited in the size of facilities here. That's unfortunate, but that brings it, the show kind of unique in itself. Very small and close-knit family, as we call it here. Possibly just more participation. It was a new idea, and you can't blame anybody for being skeptic about it. But after this year's show, I don't think there'll be any problem with having a bigger and better show next year.
I'd like to thank you for sharing your views with us today.
Thank you.
What were your impressions of Expo 86? Speechless, huh? It's been Steve Butler at the first annual Tri-State Home and Business Show here at the Matamoros Firehouse. We'd like to thank you for watching. I'd also like to thank Will Hoppy, our director and cameraman. Please continue to keep viewing Access 8 television. Thank you very much.